gonna post it as a vertical.
What up, y'all? What up, world? All right, hold that real quick. That's gonna be annoying. Oh,
Hey, you want to tape it?
all right, are we doing
Let's
it?
tape it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's try it.
Can't be over the
How
camera.
about we tape it on this? I just keep moving this around.
We're live. You want to?
Hey,
Yo.
City World Radio. What's goody? What's goody? I can only hear on one side of my headphones, but maybe it's the. We're gonna tape my phone to a device. It's a hood like that, man. Yeah, look at that.
There we go.
Look at
That's
that.
really good.
That was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, City World Radio, Facebook. What up? We are live. I am Roberto De Jesus. This is Boozy News, the only news program other than maybe on Howard Stern or something where we drink booze while telling the world news. Howard Stern just mostly does like gossip, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so good. So we're the only ones who booze while we tell the news.
So original.
Cruise. You like that?
I do.
Yeah, it's very nice.
All right. No, I don't want to see my face, man. I want to see you guys. All right. So we're here live with Fuge.
What's good? What's good? How everybody doing
Fuge.
out there? What's good?
Let them know who you are.
So, my name is Fuge. I'm a music artist, content creator, educator, and I'll be performing at Supreme Bars on tomorrow, actually. This is fam right here. Roberto, thanks for the invite.
No doubt.
And got some new music out, but we'll get to that a little later on. How's everybody doing in the internet sphere? All right, cool. I'm good.
All right. I love his voice, man. He's
Yeah,
like,
you got
oh.
great.
Good
you got
radio
good
voice.
I think he should
Really
have
good
introduced
radio
this show.
voice.
'cause
I practiced a little bit. You can't practice in the mirror.
You're also
You
a
just
rapper,
sing.
right? You rap too?
Yeah.
Yes,
Fuge raps.
I do rap.
He totally
I do rap.
raps. Good times.
Fuge is a great rapper.
All right.
Thank you, and I'm in the
You're
presence.
welcome.
Hilla's got a nice voice too. Y'all don't know this, but Hilla's got a really nice. You got a deep voice
Hey.
for your build. Like
Yeah.
Your voice is like. I would never have known. Anyway,
make it deeper.
so if anyone's wondering,
That's very nice.
what this thing is about right here, this little heart, it's actually from Hilla,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
killer. Oh, yeah.
Yo, but you know, actually,
Microphone's in the way.
I've been on a heartbreak recently.
A heartbreak?
Yeah, I haven't been handing out as many hearts.
No, why?
I just haven't been making them. I had to
Oh,
give
okay.
away all my felt, but I'll come back. I'll have a heart come back.
I'm sure there's a lot of
I'll
interns
resuscitate.
coming from NYU or something that can just like work for you if possible.
Sure.
We also got Sir Nate.
Hey, what's going on?
Are you also Sir Nate the Killer?
Yeah, Sir Nate, and I'm with Hill the Killer and Killin' Hate, and those are the combinations and names thereof.
So what do you two do exactly?
Well, I make music together.
Yeah.
Also, I live in Hilla's basement right now
Yeah.
Nice.
because I'm broke, and also because we love each other.
Yeah.
Aw,
And so
we
it
do. We
works
love
out.
each other.
That's beautiful.
that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Mainly, I do like the dishes. I also clean the bathroom.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of discussion about the frequency of the bathroom cleanings.
Oh, wow.
But there was
Nathan
one
does
today.
dishes and bathroom. I do kitchen and clothes,
Yeah.
laundry. That's
Yeah,
the-
and there's like a doorway, like a half doorway, where there's like the kitchen side and then the bathroom and sink side. So I feel like that's like my realm.
I don't want to tell everybody where you live, but you live in the city and you live like in a nice area, like what, West Village,
I live in Soho.
Soho.
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's my stomping ground from when I was a little kid.
Aw,
Yeah.
my stomping
Saw
ground
it
is Florida.
change.
My stomping ground's Florida.
Yeah, I've never been to
I
Florida.
love you, Florida, but
You
I'm
ever been
going
to Florida
back.
at all?
I've never been to Florida.
Wow.
Jamie just said, "Can you let me in?"
You want me to get it? You want me to
Yeah,
get it?
yeah.
Got
Somebody's
it.
got to let her in.
Let her in.
Hell, I can't see you.
Yo, that's okay. I'm really short, you know. Yo, I'm right here. Yo, what up?
What up? All right, so
I
I'm gonna
love
make some
Boozy
drinks
News.
for y'all
All
while we
right.
talk
Yeah,
about
that sounds
stuff.
great.
Is that cool? There
Love
she
that.
is. Look at that. Look at that.
Hey.
Put the camera right on her.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hey. And there's Fuge. Oh, he's got another chair. Man, he's such a gentleman. Look at that. I'm here just talking while Future's doing the do. You got a chair over there?
I
Oh,
love
you
how
know
we,
what?
we
What?
taped this thing so that you wouldn't have to hold it the whole time, but now you're
I
just
know, right?
holding.
Now I'm just holding the bigger part. It's easier to hold this. I don't want to drop my phone.
True, true.
I hadn't even started drinking yet. You know, Jamie helps us out sometimes too with the phone and the camera, and if she is so inclined to do so, if not, then she can just have a drink with us. Which one?
She chilling. All
right, she'll help out whenever she gets settled in.
Let's
All right, so we are
strong.
Boozy News. All right, and I always like to introduce what kind of drinks we're gonna be doing.
All right.
Okay.
Sir Nate was the one that had a preference, but not, you know.
It was a suggestion.
Right, a suggestion. So he said gin. I love gin. I'm a gin person.
Me too.
All right, yeah, we're gin people. Good.
I'm
Good.
down
Jay,
with
you a
gin.
gin person? No?
Not in the gin. I don't have a preference usually.
So if your name starts with a J, you're not a gin person, right?
I just like
Is that
really
it?
sweet frozen drinks, like margaritas and pina coladas.
And the best part about
I'm
the
down for
gin,
those.
Jays, is the juniper berries that go inside the gin, which makes it really good. So today, I've got this amazing bottle. I don't know if you guys have seen this before. Green Hook Gin Smiths.
Wow.
I've never seen that.
Yo, it's really popular in bars nowadays.
Cool.
That's
Okay.
pretty.
It's
Yeah,
really
that's
good.
great.
It
Is this like a sponsor?
yeah. So Green Hook is paying for this.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Boozy News brought to you by Green Hook Gin Smiths, makers of vodka and gin. And they're actually distilling whiskey right now, but it's got to age. So they're a new company. It's aging. So, you know, don't get mad at them for that. But they're known for their gin.
Cool.
They have
Okay.
green. They have they have a red gin. I don't know. So the beauty about this is not only is it 47% ABV, it's also like very like botanical gin. It's got like little hints of like chamomile and cinnamon.
Wow.
Yeah, Green Hook is really
Oh, we
good.
fancy, huh?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to say that's
That's an American dry gin.
Okay.
Red, white, and blue. So let's try it out. We're gonna try it, and then you can have it with like a club
Crack
soda
the
or whatever you want to do.
seal.
Yeah,
All right,
I know,
cool.
right? All right, we're doing Green Hook Gin Smith, y'all.
When things
are
have like
fancy.
hints of things in them, is it because when they're making it, they
It's
just like throw
it's
in
like
some
drinking
chamomile and
wine,
it's just
and
like in
then
there?
Yeah.
It's like drinking wine, and then the sommelier is like, "Oh, can you taste the chocolate?" Like, no, I can't taste the chocolate. Like hints of,
hints of
hints of
Red
earth
Osher.
and dirt.
Yeah, but I'm saying like when
Dogwood.
they, is that stuff actually in there? You know what I mean? Like when they're making
Yeah,
the
they
wine,
actually,
right.
they actually,
just like,
I think they
they
do.
put like 9 different botanicals in it, 9 different herbs. I can't remember what they all are, but it's an
All right, say it
organic
on the back
wheat.
here.
well, we should
gin.
be able to taste them. You know,
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
an
let's see.
organic wheat
It
gin.
depends on how
There's only a few
refined
gins that I can.
your gin palate.
It's gonna be mostly juniper berries and alcohol. To be honest, my favorite gins are like Hendrix because you can actually taste the cucumber in the
Hendrix is
Hendrix.
dope.
I love. I don't know if y'all heard of Bulldog gin. I love Bulldog gin. It's got it's got like poppy seeds in it, but also like dragon fruit. There's a lot of different gins out there that actually have a certain distinct flavor other than the gin.
so I should stop just drinking Gordon's.
Gordon's is good too. I like London. I like
It's economical.
British gins.
Oh yeah.
Let's crack open this ice. Whoa. Can you still hear me? Yo, I'm
Yes,
hitting everything
yes.
right now.
How much do you usually have before you come?
Yeah, dude, pregame.
He
Pregame.
walked in a little hopped up.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like,
Yeah,
I
check.
should definitely be.
Can you hear me, Jade? I can't hear me. It might be the headphones. Can you guys hear me?
Check.
I
check.
can, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I
Can you guys hear me? Yo, Berto. Yo, James, I just finished working with him.
Yo,
He's
what
like,
up,
hey, Berto. Yo, what's up, James? How you doing? We love you. I'll see you at Cooper's sometime soon. All right.
Cool.
Jamie, can you hold the phone so I'm not like rotating it all the time? Oh, you're the best. Uh-oh.
I'm trying to post this to my Fuge page.
It's actually
Did you put it on the thing?
I don't think you can reverse it. Can you reverse it? You could? Awesome.
Yo, I just commented on the live video.
Wow, it's
Did
so
you?
meta.
Yeah. Oh, what? You're gonna wink at me? This is
All right,
amazing.
so Green Hook. Let's do Green Hook while we talk about stuff. I can't hear myself.
I got my own cup.
Even better. Well, we're doing these
What?
plastic fancy
I did not get the
party cups.
memo.
Well, no, I found it out there in the sink.
No, use
Oh.
this one.
You using-
It's
you
a sex,
brought your cup
from a
too?
That cup?
sex party sink. Used
Actually,
cup.
I didn't
been a lot in
bring.
that
I didn't
cup.
bring a cup, but I did find this cup here,
Did you?
over there.
Y'all
Yeah,
playing
they're all
with your
single.
lives right now.
Yeah, I know,
Playing with
so
your
we're-
lives.
We're gonna
I'll
use
take
it.
the risk.
We're gonna use it. I rinsed it out.
Wait, you found that here too?
yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
both found our
Plastic
cups.
cups.
Look at that. It says peace, love,
No,
and Mickey
save the
Mouse.
plastic.
That's right. sorry.
No.
Here.
No, it's no problem. I just
It was
want to use
already
my
here.
Mickey
Well,
cup.
I'm using the provided cup, so
That's good. No, I mean, there's like there's tons of plastic cups back there too. You know?
I want a sex cup. I didn't
Yeah, it's got good like
Well, Fuge,
sex
I forgot
energy.
that they actually had an entire song about plastic and like.
I possibly heard a clip.
Yeah, yeah.
Plastic Man.
Is that the most recent one? What's the most
No,
recent joint?
it's from a little while ago.
Most recent thing we did was a environmentally themed like rap show in its entirety. So all the songs are sort of like have ecological themes, and that song was
Dope.
in it. But yeah,
I've
that
always
song
loved
was
the themes. The themes are always dope. They're always
I feel like
good.
you're a very thematic artist
Yeah,
as well. Like your
yeah.
songs are about
Totally.
things, you know.
Exactly. And I didn't
Which is
know
cool.
that was like different. I thought
Right,
it was
right.
just like regular. And then people like, I like how you put your songs and these like okay, I guess that is.
I kind of feel like once, or like for me, like
Yeah.
once I cross that threshold,
Yeah.
it's hard to go back.
As much as
Like
I
now, if
think
I'm
so,
just like
too.
want to write without a topic,
Without it's
it's kind of
difficult,
harder. Like
yeah.
I like having like a
Me
something
too.
to guide me.
Me too.
I'm gonna try this again. Check. 1 to the 2.
Should we just start the show again? I mean,
Oh yeah, no, we started talking about
Intro
ourselves
music.
as part of the show.
All right.
Thank you.
But
We're
these guys are literally changing the world. You always like go overseas to God, you look towards like wind energy. So we're gonna talk about solar energy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
Oh
That's one of
yeah,
the
yeah. I'm
I'm
things.
gonna
excited about
segue
talking
into
about
that eventually. I don't know if
Yeah.
you all know that.
I look
but,
forward to talking about that.
Yeah, I like talking
Okay,
about that.
I know you'd like to.
I
talk
did a little
about
bit
it,
of
so-
homework.
Yeah, same. I did some
Good.
research.
I didn't do homework. I took notes, but
My
I
hand
read-
is so cold right now.
So let's talk about solar energy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Principal solar energy. All right, there's a
Printable,
professor.
yeah.
There's a professor in Australia,
In the University
Uh,
of Newcastle.
Professor Paul Destor, and he created principal solar panel sheets. That is only like, how much did it say it was? It's like,
It's like 10
It's
cents
cheap,
per
yeah.
square foot.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Yeah,
and it only takes like 1 day's work to do, and they want to expand that from, I know you guys have a lot more to say about it than I do. I read it and I was amazed, but I know you're actually going overseas to do certain projects like this. You guys are actually literally changing the world. I know that for a fact.
I think we're all changing the world.
Everybody's changing the world.
I rap about people change the world.
That's its own form of
Weekly,
changing
though.
the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Weekly.
Yeah. It's a
That's not
Weekly.
easy.
That's
Weekly.
not easy.
consistency thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But please expound on.
No, I mean, well, I don't know a ton more
Professor
about
Destor.
about the project than you do, except for what I read, which is that it's extremely cheap to do, and they're like in the trial phase right now because I think there's like a pallet manufacturing company or something like that.
It's been
They-
6 months in the making so far. Yeah.
What I didn't get from the article was like how well it's working, because I feel like it'll be like a proof in the pudding type of thing if
Yeah.
it can be applicable to.
I didn't quite understand how they hook it up to a battery, or if how much energy it actually siphons from the sun
Right.
into a battery and how fast it does it. But I think it's really cool that it's so lightweight and that you can print it, and that the technology is something that they can share. And
I feel like just like anything else, this is just the baby steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when the light bulb was invented, it wasn't exactly, the light bulb we know now today. So like it's just like anything else. Like once they figured out, like, hey, this can actually be a thing,
I do
then we
wonder
can
if it
find ways
has
to improve it.
like marketing difficulties in the sense that if it's printable and if it becomes easy to get the technology to just print your own, then you don't even need a company like that to sell you cheap sheets, which is
Right.
already the problem with solar in the first place of like how to. The reason it's taken so long is that it's hard to commodify in such a way that people can own it and exert the kind of capitalistic control that they've exerted so far with fossil fuels and other sources of power.
well,
So
yeah,
I feel
they
like it's
can
even
control
more of a
it.
populist, type
When
of.
do you think we're going to run out of fossil fuels anyway?
Like yesterday.
Yeah, I definitely don't know the
Done,
date.
Yeah.
But,
And then what?
They say like 2050 or something, but it's probably already done.
I might be
already
gone by then. I don't know.
probably like getting faster because we're accelerating our use of energy
Sorry.
as we get bigger as a
Right.
human population on Earth. But yeah, I think it's a really cool thing. I mean, having decentralized power, having power that people can just print and install in their own homes is such a dream for people thinking about environmentally friendly ways of coexisting.
Right.
yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of pushback from people who have control over us and make us pay for energy. So
Wow. I love you guys, And I can't remember the last time we've ever like actually sat down and had a conversation. We're always at an event.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
saying
right.
hi and blah blah blah.
We're always yelling,
it's like our first
yelling
real
into one another's
conversation
ears.
together.
Yeah.
Like everything you guys say is always amazing. Even when you're rapping about it or just talking about it, like you do know that they rapped the news before I did, right?
Oh,
I guess we did
Yeah.
on one
Ooh.
occasion. Yeah,
Yeah.
On
right.
occasion.
When I did it, Sir Dave was like, Roberto, oh my god, that's we did this video, and I was like, oh my god, it's fucking awesome. But it wasn't as cool as they actually did a song, a full on song. I just do like little one.
Well, but to
minute.
be fair, it was very specific.
It
Though.
was very
There's this
specific.
weird misadventure.
It
where,
was
like,
about
It was about Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
This guy like met us in Tel Aviv, and he was like, he saw us playing on the street, and he was like, "I got this project for you. I represent Dennis Rodman. He's about to go back to North Korea. I also represent this company
So this was right before.
that sells
Yeah.
pot currency. So you need to make a song about Dennis Rodman going to North Korea, and also it needs to be about pot." And then it needs to be about the following news
That's very
articles.
specific.
And you said done.
And we were
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, let's
How quick
do
was
it."
the turnaround? Was just like
It was 3
Oh my God.
days.
It was
Okay,
so
okay.
unpleasant because it was like they needed it like right away.
Yeah.
And like they were like putting a lot of pressure on us. And we should have asked for
Snap.
way more money for the amount of
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
work
Oh,
that we
but you
put
got
in.
paid though.
Oh, we
Yeah,
got,
we did,
got
yeah,
paid.
yeah.
Well, that's the
What's
thing. We got paid more than we ever get paid.
Well,
so
because we never get paid, so we didn't even know what to ask. We were like $1,000, and then it was like turned out to be really hard. Like we were working on
Yeah.
it for like
And then we were
72
like,
hours straight.
two
Like
and a half.
100% of your
$2,000.
income in
And every
one
time we
song.
asked
Yeah.
for more, he was like, "Done," and I was like, "We
we
gotta
should
like
have had
re-strategize here."
15,000.
That's awesome.
But then it all went south kind of because like during the time they were going to release it right away, but then for some reason they waited on it. In that space of time, Otto Warmbier, the kid that North Korea sent back around the same time that Dennis Rodman went to travel there, the guy had been like a prisoner. He passed away upon his return, and so and then our song didn't mention this, and we like felt really weird about it. It's like, no, let us fix the song, and they're like, no, you can't fix the song. So then we had like beef with him, not with Dennis Rodman directly, but like with his people, you know, and it was just this whole ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
And then like who was it? Like it was we had
On
to take
CNN,
out
it was
the
Wolf
shit
Blitzer.
going down like. We had like this whole video, and it was just like us rapping for the camera, but then like clips of like
NBA.
Rodman like rebounding and shit. And there was one clip that had Magic Johnson in it, and apparently Dennis Rodman knew that Magic Johnson wouldn't like it because it mentioned pot, and so he's like, "You got to take that clip out." So then we had to take out that clip.
It
How
was
do
a
you take out
wild.
a clip? Once you put a video on YouTube, how do you
We just had to like
take
swap
a
it
clip?
out
We had
for
to
some
swap
other
it out.
part.
So
Yeah.
you've confirmed Magic Johnson has heard the song.
Well, no,
Maybe.
only that prospectively
Yeah.
Rodman knew that he wouldn't like, a pot themed
okay,
thing.
okay.
And Rodman
Yeah.
doesn't smoke pot either. And so he was like, I don't like all the pot stuff. And we're like, don't like all the pot stuff. Like,
whole
it was your
song.
people, your pot people
Right.
that are funding
That
your
told
trip to
him to
North
put-
Korea.
yeah.
The song is
Yeah,
called
yeah.
Peace, Love, Pot, and Dennis Rodman. So
It is
Y'all
my
check out
least-
Peace, Love, Pot, Dennis Rodman. Right? You heard it here.
You don't have to. It's my least favorite thing I've ever created.
That's how it works. What you get paid
They have a lot
for
of
the
great
most.
songs. They have a lot of good songs.
No, it's so
period,
ridiculous
but-
because like on Spotify, that one's got like mad plays, and I just wish it didn't exist. And we can't even take it down.
Oh,
It's
man.
just out there.
It's out there.
it's okay.
And now we're
It's in the
talking
cloud.
about it more.
Wolf Blitzer,
All right, we're
mentioned
done.
it on CNN. So
Yeah, it was on CNN for a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
It was
Wait,
so-
Wolf Blitzer mentioned it on the
Yeah, it was
Situation
so
Room?
Yeah.
ridiculous.
On CNN?
It was like it was blown out of proportion.
I'm not gonna
man.
lie, I like Wolf Blitzer. I listen to him. I watch him.
I'm down with Wolf. He didn't seem like he was so down with us, and he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "The people who represent Rodman commissioned this strange video."
F Wolf Blitzer. I don't like him all of a sudden. I'm like, I love Wolf Blitzer. F Wolf Blitzer.
That's awesome though. Just part of the resume, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You can make it a small print kind of thing,
Right.
but it's part of the journey.
Speaking of small print, do we have anything else to add as far as where we might see the future in not renewable, but principal solar panel,
Man.
solar power? Principal solar power. We were just talking about principal handguns in the last.
I just feel like it's
Boozy
just going to
News.
be made so difficult to commercialize.
Right.
I mean, not to commercialize, but to make it in
Solar
every
power already
household.
is,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's already kind of not.
It was
I
supposed to be. I remember when they first started talking about it when I was younger, it was like, that's how the future is going to look. Like in 2000,
Right.
whatever.
We thought so,
Right.
And
Now there's all these companies that they're getting paid commissions to go and like go to corporations and get them to convert their
Right.
energy. So I don't think anytime soon, like in the next 5 years or so, it would be dope though. But I don't know. Like, what if our phones are solar powered and shit?
right.
solar panels aren't that expensive now either.
Right.
Like, you can definitely set up
Invest
a
in
solar,
yourself. Do it right.
Yeah, you can get a battery, you can get a solar panel, and you can start, harvesting your own solar energy.
There is some ways I think in which like in the rhetoric about it, Because people got to be convinced of something, you know, and there's no like clear and present danger in the sense of like the oil field is right in your backyard and you can see it's almost dried up, or like you can just like you can't see the effects of climate change like in a direct kind of way. But somebody was telling me a story about like a neighbor of theirs. Who was it they were talking to? Who's like a hyper conservative person, like just to the point of being like anti-establishment type of conservative. Yeah, and they have solar panels so that they can stick it to the man, so they can be like, no, you know, I'm not part of your system. Which is like a different reason than somebody who maybe has ecological or like philosophical reasons to do it that are more like environmentally or like earth-based or like part of a larger ethical structure of a different kind. But that's encouraging that like you just got to find a way to convince everybody about this like practice, and the principles from which the practice logically proceeds don't have to be the thing that you lead with. You know what I mean? You don't have to lead with, hey, you're fucking up the earth, stop doing that, buy a solar panel. You can lead with, here's the solar panel, here's all the things that's good about it. Your reasons can be whatever you want to do. You can have solar panels because you're a fundamentalist Christian. You can have solar panels because you're a radical atheist. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of different reasons.
Anarchist.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I can add more to that, but
we'll do.
There's no way I can say it as eloquently as you did.
No, you won't.
Well,
there's no way at all.
You define locution. There's no way I can. I can talk about a lot of things. But that's why I bring creatives here, because I know everyone has.
We should cheers.
We should definitely cheers.
Yeah, we all have
Salud. Cheers. To Jen. To Green Hook.
Jen, where's your drink?
She's not Jen. She's not a Jen person.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot.
She's a different kind of Green Hook.
We didn't make eye contact with each other when we cheers, so we're gonna.
I know. I was a little
sex.
distracted. Yeah.
We got bad sex with each other.
Wait, did you drink your drink?
In a sex club.
Wait, did you drink your drink?
Sex after this will be really bad.
You drank your drink after we cheers, or you didn't?
I don't remember.
I didn't. So let's do it again.
Okay, let's do it again.
Salud.
Salud. Yeah.
Cheers.
Eyes. Yeah.
Cheers. Yeah. All right. I saw all of y'all, by the way, all at once.
That's skill right there.
Yep. All right. Wow. I knew you guys would have a lot, so that's why I just want to sit down and just listen. Sounds kind of creepy. I want to sit down and watch, you know, 'cause I knew you had a lot to add to the table when it comes to that. What do we know about Venezuela? Venezuela is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, currency.
Yeah.
Jade, can you hear me on the mic? No? Uh-oh. That mic? This mic. I can't hear myself.
Yo.
You can hear me?
How loud should I be in my own ears? I'm good?
You know, it's actually my headphones. But
How loud am I in your ears?
Okay, good.
okay.
All right, well.
All right, so Venezuela. Can we talk about Venezuela for a second?
Absolutely.
Venezuela is all kinds of. There's always a riot every month. There's always a protest. There was a burning in a prison at one point. Like 80 people died in Carabobo in Venezuela. There's so many things happening in Venezuela right now that, you know, the president Maduro. I mean, his name makes me hungry, but the president Maduro, he decided that, hey, look, we have an inflation problem. I'm just gonna make new money. So the president became the our version of the Federal Reserve, and he just said, I'm gonna make fiat currency, the sovereign boulevard. The sovereign bolivar is what it's called, and people think that it's very financiers don't take kindly to this idea because you can't just add money exactly. It lowers the value of the dollar. For one, if we keep adding U.S. dollars to the U.S., we only do it when it's based on demand, and the Federal Reserve had this huge stronghold. That's a whole other thing. I'm not going to get into that. But imagine living in Venezuela. You saving money. You have your own business.
And then
all of a sudden, should we wipe this? Sorry. Well,
we spilled a lot.
We're spilling everywhere here. It's okay. So
it's part of the experience.
Imagine having money in Venezuela, and then the president says, whatever cash you have, we're not going to use that anymore. We got to use this now with my face on it. Whatever. I don't know his face is on it. But not only that, you're only allowed to take out 10 sovereign bolivars a day because they're still in circulation. So you still can't even take the money out. And where once the old bolivar was, for every U.S. dollar, it was 250,000 old bolivars. I think it's now like 60,000 or
like
whatnot.
60.
Yeah, like just 60.
Yeah.
When it comes to
the sovereign bolivar is 60 to a dollar.
So now I'm kind of conflicted about that. I do have friends from Venezuela, living in Venezuela, who moved to Trinidad because they couldn't take it in Venezuela anymore. And they're always telling me how messed up it is. If you see the weekly rap down, I'm mentioning Venezuela all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the President Maduro and the new Sovereign Boulevard was a big deal, so I had to talk about it. What do you feel as far as like the fiat currency? Once you put your money in the bank, I guess it's just numbers and digital, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the most America did was turn our money from green to peach, but it's still the same value.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel as far as bringing in a new sort of currency to an already dilapidated environment? I hate to talk trash about Venezuela. I love Venezuelans. I love the country, Caracas, the city, but something's got to give. Either this man leaves and the next one takes over and says, okay, I'll solve your money problem.
Right.
I mean, this is the kind of news that I can't really fully grasp intellectually, because I don't understand how these money systems get put in place in the first place and how value is decided. And,
There's about 15 other countries doing the same thing, though.
It's crazy. Like, even in the U.S., like when we think about inflation or how much things cost today versus 10 years ago or 50 years ago, like, how does that happen? And who is controlling any of that? I have no idea.
And the Federal Reserve does a lot.
Yeah, but
the Venezuela also has their own version of, like, treasurer, secretary of treasurer. They basically say, okay, you brought this idea up, Mr. President Maduro. We'll figure out a way to make this all happen. They go through like months and months of planning before this even is implemented. So once it's out in circulation, the Treasury Department in Venezuela, they have to make it happen. The president's just like, I solved our money problem. I solved the crisis, but he really didn't.
Okay.
I mean, there's
That's
still
what I
going
was wondering,
to
if he was
be
just like,
unemployment.
bam.
You can't just like all of a sudden this new dollar from a different president is more money than your George Washington dollar.
But even if you do that, like, what does it matter? I mean, at the end of the day, you use this dollar just as a placeholder so that you can buy something that you need, right? Like food. Like if we're like thinking about food, okay, so an apple costs $2 or something, and if I have a new coin that's worth $2, I still can only do the thing that I'm supposed to do with those $2, which is buy an apple. Like, does it change the value of the actual things that people are buying?
You're talking about the actual tangible items that people buy.
Yeah. I mean, that's what money is
typically
all about.
It maybe be lower in value than the actual money?
Well, currency is ideally backed by something that does have tangible value, or at least backed by some other system.
Like gold
exactly.
or oil?
Which, as far as I understand, like, even U.S. currency isn't backed by gold anymore.
No, it's
it used
not.
to be, but it hasn't been for a while.
That was the Gold Standard Act in
exactly.
1933.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, nice with the dates. But the new Bolivar, the Sovereign Bolivar, at least in the article, it said that it's backed by their cryptocurrency, which is in turn tied to their oil resources.
Which is still
but
getting
there
all
was
kinds
that
of
other
backlash as
economist
well.
that was like, you might as well have linked it to a unicorn. Like, it's just like, that's so
Sounds
tenuous,
all kinda messed up.
But I also don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Hilla was saying, like the intricacies of artificially adapting an economic situation in a top-down way involves so many mathematical sort of approaches to the question that you might as well be telling me, like, should we or should we not, like, split this atom? I don't know what's going to happen if we do it.
So, do you believe that this will work, just like our printable solar panel sheets? What we're worried about is the future. All right? I know we don't live in Venezuela, so we're not really worried about whether or not it works out in the country, but this is a scary thing. This can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, their inflation rate, just like it says in the article, was 1,000,000%, right? That's ridiculous. And according to the article, Germany had the same inflation rate in the 20s and then Zimbabwe in the 90s. Something's got to give. Germany figured itself out. I actually am one of the few people, not the few people, but I love Merkel in Germany. I think she's amazing. I'm a fan of powerful women who can just take a country head on, and then whether or not you have to deal with, like, President 45. I'll never say his name. Or,
I love that. President 45.
Or Putin.
He who shall not be named.
Right. Voldemort. All I'm saying is that she can deal with like people like them who are just like babies, and she can deal with like a country's crisis. Germany doesn't really have like a money crisis, is just like Zimbabwe did or does in Somalia and
Germany
Venezuela.
also has a lot of social initiatives that
I do not mind moving to Germany.
benefit many people.
Never been.
You never been?
Mm-mm.
We were in Germany, like I guess like a year and a half ago now or something
Yeah.
like that, and we were driving in that
I
like.
just assume that you've been everywhere already.
No, I haven't been everywhere, but I was.
I haven't
we were
been
in
south of
Germany.
the equator ever.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day.
All right,
Yeah.
so
It's a
Anyway,
goal.
so yeah, but we were
Bucket
driving
list.
with this guy. It was like this thing where you can like get a ride like through this app,
Blah blah.
blah car, and we were driving with this guy, and he was describing what it's like there. I was like, so what do you think about Merkel, and like what do you what's people's like sort of perspective on things, and like is there a lot of division? And he was saying that there's division about things, but the way he described it was like so qualitatively different to how things are over here. Like there's a lot of policy disagreement and there's a lot of policy debate. But he made it seem like there's a general sense of like everyone feels like they're going generally in the right direction, and they all sort of have the same general objectives. Even if the person that gets elected isn't the person they voted for, they sort of like make like a deliberate assessment. And being a European, like he knows our politics better probably even than I do, you know what I mean? Like, or he knows world politics better than the average American does.
The world than Americans do.
And he was like, it's really nothing like what you imagine
I
politics
feel like
being.
she does have a
you know?
high approval rating over.
Yeah, she
Germany.
seems to. Yeah.
Well, I just think that if you live in a society where you're electing government that provides for your basic needs in a way that makes sense for you and that you're happy with, then money is like not even, what are you using money for if it's not like detrimental to your survival?
Exactly. And when I say fiat currency, I'm just talking about the paper money. Like,
Right.
Imagine, what's his name? Pablo Escobar, who was at one point the richest person in the entire world. And I don't know if you've seen Narcos, but he would like dig up holes in the forest or wherever and throw all his money in there. He couldn't exactly have a bank account, Escobar. But imagine like him pumping like billions of dollars, digging up dirt in the ground, putting billions of dollars into the ground, and then like 5 years later, they're like, oh, well, we don't take that money anymore. Like, oh my God, are you kidding? That's why I have a bank account. I have like $1 in my wallet because I don't really like to carry cash around too much. I just feel like
I've been saving mad cash because I've
Yeah.
been like, oh, fuck my bank account. That's going to disappear in a minute. I'm going to hold on to this cash, which also doesn't matter probably. That's the other thing. I'm like, oh, but this cash also doesn't matter.
it's
If
just
anything,
paper money.
if anything
It has
was
no
going to
value.
go down, like my cash wouldn't matter. My bank account wouldn't matter. All that mattered is like the knowledge that I have about how to survive on the planet.
Exactly, yeah. You know what?
Preach.
You're going to be my... we're all going to be partners in the zombie apocalypse. That's
Yeah.
for
sure.
Well,
That's
I've
good.
been learning a lot about water, capturing water, storing it, purifying it. So that's like one thing that's really important. Growing food is really important. Learning how to build
I'll be
shelter.
the gun-toting
All
lunatic
true.
during the zombie apocalypse, and you figure out a way that we all survive
Got it. Let's
outside
do
of
it.
the zombies.
Deal.
Yeah.
What would be my weapon of choice? I'm a machete.
He's already
guy.
thinking about, like-
Like a big hug.
If I was in the purge,
Come on, bring it on in. That's hilarious.
I will destroy you with my love.
can we talk about
That's
paddling?
hilarious.
Yeah.
How about that for a
Fuck
segue?
that. Yo, that was
That
the
was a
worst
good-
news that you said. I was just
So
like,
you
I
never heard
cannot
about that? That's
no.
actually, it's so sad. All right. God, I love you, Venezuela, but we can't keep talking about you all the time.
Now let's talk about Georgia.
It's legal in 19 different states to still paddle students
In school.
in schools.
Can you please explain
No,
what you mean by
outside of
paddling?
schools. You just paddle students.
Yeah, I
like-
think. Yeah, we need to
Do
explain.
y'all remember that?
Nobody ever.
Paddling
Well,
out
I
of
was
school?
going to ask if
What
any
do
of
you
you
mean we
were
remember
ever
that?
swatted or paddled
Yeah.
as part of your own. Yeah.
You know what? I
Yeah,
went
You
to-
were?
yeah.
You were
yeah.
paddled in
Not in
school?
school. Not in school. Not in school.
But at home.
No,
I
yeah.
remember it in
Swatted
school.
with what?
Were you paddled in school?
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if I was or my memory is that somebody did, but I definitely remember the act of a paddle hitting. If it was either me or another kid.
Sure, this wasn't like a
Yeah.
canoe trip that you remembered wrong. You know,
That's so messed up.
It's messed up, but it was the norm for a very
but it was
long
like a
time.
policy in
I
school.
mean, nobody did that shit here.
Wow.
in New York.
No, in New York,
Check.
that's
Yeah.
that's unheard
It
of.
was.
How like severe did your transgression have to be paddled?
And this was early, so it was maybe like preschool to second grade kind of
Okay.
range. When
He's
I was living
72,
in
by the way,
Gary,
guys.
when I was living in Gary, Indiana, like it was still like
Michael
that.
Jackson,
definitely.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember. It was just if you were acting up, and it was in the front of class.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in the front
Wait
of class.
a minute.
Was it
They beat you in front of everybody?
And it didn't even seem that weird. It was just like, you about to get paddled. Like,
was it like hard enough? Because this is something I was wondering with the article too. Was it like hard enough, like to hurt physically, or was it sort of just the psychological?
It was the psychological,
thing?
exactly.
Like
it wasn't just like you didn't walk away with bruises.
Whacked. Right.
I would never do that, but if I did, I'd instill fear in the students. I was just like, and they had no idea what I'm going to do. They're just like,
would you just do it randomly?
Bow! What did I
do? I just felt like doing it.
I'm just like fake.
That's so bad.
Wow. I guess I was never paddled. It was a belt. I got the belt, but only once. So it was like not a big part of my.
From a teacher?
Upbringing. No, just at home.
I think I got.
Are you kidding? At home,
like,
I got
hit
my ass
one
kicked.
time, but
y'all don't like.
At home it's a different situation.
Home's a whole different thing.
The paddle
Home
used
was
to
like,
hang up on the board, like it used to, so you could see it. Like while you're in class, the paddle would just be hanging.
And it was
on.
just only for that. It wasn't like the ruler that you use for like measurement projects. Also, it was like it was just the paddle.
It was just the paddle.
So
dang.
I hope my sister doesn't see this. But she has like a stick, or not a stick. God, it's so abusive. That sounds so bad.
A switch.
She has a paddle. I don't know what it is, but it's called Rodney. And my nephew does not want to see Rodney. And then I feel bad if you ever meet someone named Rodney, because my sister's always like, "Do you want me to get Rodney?" He's like, "No." Are you sure you want me to get Rodney? And my parents didn't have names for anything. They just found whatever they found. That's what they hit me with. They was like, "Yeah." But that's it. Do you want me to get? Like, no. And I know some of us remember like stuffing our pajamas because we knew we were about to get a butt whooping. Is that just me?
I'm surprised.
Come on.
You were smart.
I'm surprised that parents.
Oh no, my parents knew. They were like,
what
do you, no, it's not going to happen.
I'm surprised that parents would give teachers the power to discipline their children in that way.
That's what irks me, and that's actually still legal in 19 different states. If you actually look at the states where it's legal, it starts off in the Midwest and just slowly like drips down the south. Like it just goes all the way down. Like the other states are just like, nah, that's not us. Like, California's like, whoa,
that's hilarious.
That's all you guys over there. It's really sad, but the only reason why we even read the article is because there's a charter school. It was actually a public school, right?
Yeah.
It's called the oh god,
the Georgia
it's
School.
in Hephzibah, Georgia. The Georgia School of Innovation and the Classics.
Yeah.
How classic is that to be paddling kids? That's
Well, I was
super
what
classic.
that meant. Did that mean classics like in the
Innovation?
It's called the
academically
Georgia
specific?
School for Innovation and the Classics. It's K through 9th grade. You try to get the paddle if parents don't. If they don't consent to that, whatever, it's 5 days suspension.
Southern Valley.
I'd rather get 5 days suspension
Yeah.
than 10
Get
years later
paddled.
they'll be like, yo, remember that one time you got paddled? The thing is, they don't do it in front of. It's supposed to be behind closed doors with one witness. It's not in front of the class.
That's
that seems
traumatic.
more
No,
problematic. Yeah,
and just
yeah.
one person just watching. Like,
Right.
Only twice.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah. So I don't know how that's still legal. Something you'd see in *Handmaid's Tale* or something. It was not.
Yeah.
I thought that they just put the hands like on the desk and they would like snap the knuckles. Like I didn't think they actually stood you up and beat you.
Yeah.
You know?
So you have to put your hand on your knees or put your hands on the desk. Like you just gotta like, boop, boop, beep, you gotta do all this, and then
With the sound effect.
that's a Betty Boop reference. So like, and then they paddle. This is only after 3 strikes. Like you gotta be really bad. You gotta do really bad in school.
Well, but how what does it take to get a strike? You know what I mean? That's what it depends on. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
how
as a teacher,
severe
you can have
the
it out for
strike
you. You could be
violations.
totally fine, not be doing anything
I think
wrong.
as a 9th grader, I was kind of rebellious too. Teacher would be like, "Yo, bro, you want to work this problem on the board? Blow me. Strike one." Like, I didn't say that.
This
but-
is why restorative justice is very important. A conversation that
Yeah.
we should be having.
Gentle parenting.
This is why this is crucial.
Yeah. I've been reading a lot about gentle parenting, and not because I'm about to have a child or anything, but because, I think I find
Be
it
crazy if you
interesting.
drop that on me on the radio.
Nathan.
Exclusive.
Oh snap! The gin is talking.
Yeah, man.
Little Hilla.
Yo, Little Hilla. That's what my child.
That's awesome.
If you both did have a child, would you?
Paddle
Would you
it?
already have an?
Absolutely
No,
not.
you wouldn't paddle your child. I was gonna say like, what would you name it or something? I was gonna say.
Oh, we've got a working name.
Oh
Yeah.
What is it?
Furcus.
Furcus.
Yeah.
Let me throw Geronimo in the mix. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Geronimo's nice. A little appropriative, but you know.
Yeah.
All right, everybody focus for a moment. All right.
My mom's listening somewhere, just like Furcus.
I actually went to a Christian school, and they didn't even like. It was nothing near like what like that's not a Catholic school, obviously. I went to a Christian school. The worst we got was them like threatening to call our parents or like, I'm gonna let your mother know that you did this. No, that's it. And I'm more scared of like my parents eventually hitting me than worrying if a teacher's gonna paddle me. I never even thought that was still a thing. I thought that died out like in the
it was
mid
unaware.
20th century or something.
At all.
Yeah, I don't know. In New York, it seemed more likely that a student would come in and like stab you than a teacher
Right.
is going to paddle you.
Right.
It's absurd. Like when I was reading that, I was like, this is not real. And then 19 states.
Right.
Just it shows how much like New York kids like totally don't understand the country that they live in. I don't think, like I don't.
I would have
had
loved
no
to
idea.
I would have loved to be raised in New York, but I was raised in Florida, which still I loved being raised in Florida. It wasn't like, high speed, intense, a million people, like whatever. I got to like just basically sit down, learn whatever I had to learn at a paced rate, and then go out into the world, and then go to New York, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They used to call me fish-eyed fool when I was like interning in studios because they knew I just came from Florida. And like I was always like, oh, I want to learn everything, and they were like, yo, just chill out. They treated me like crap when I interned at D&D Studios. Whatever, I had to pick up cat shit. Whatever. So
Bodega cats, but studio cats? I've never heard of that.
studio cats, yeah. There was
Studio cats.
okay. So there's a story. Jay-Z did the track with Biggie at D&D Studios. That was was it Primo? I think produced that track.
Okay.
Was it? Right.
Brooklyn's
Brooklyn's
finest.
finest. So Jay-Z found a rat in the bathroom, and ever since then, D&D decided to just have cats. So yeah, you can't hear yourself.
Check. Yes. We're back.
All right. So I mean, should we eliminate paddling? Do you think it's working for them?
No,
Parents-
I
some
think
parents
definitely
actually-
that should be
It's working.
illegal.
Some parents
no way
actually
that's
give
working.
consent. Like they're like, yeah, you hit my child. I'm too busy. Like
Is it consent or just like don't give a fuck? Just like yeah, sure, whatever.
I don't think there's a don't give a fuck waiver, but I think it's just a consent form.
Would you please sign our don't give a fuck waiver for your
I
child?
don't.
There's so many parents out there that they have kids, but they don't want to parent, so they want their teachers to parent.
It's true.
And like both my parents are teachers, and that was one of the fights that they had with parents all the time. Was that like
That's your
why
job.
aren't you basically like why aren't you parenting my child? And they're like, I'm not the parent, like why?
Yeah.
I'm the teacher, and like of course I have to instill discipline, but not to the point of like being their parent. But there's so many lazy parents out there that their kids see their teachers more than they see them, and so that's what they expect.
Folks,
So-
that's Jamie
Unfortunately.
Coons, by the way.
Yeah.
She
Sorry.
doesn't
Yeah,
like to be in front of the
Jamie.
cameras,
Chimed
but
in.
she does throw in her 2 cents every now and then. So if I was like, a talk show host, she'd be like my
Gotcha. Yeah.
cameo in the couch cameo.
Cool.
So
On the
the
couch
bigger
cameo.
conversation, it's about disciplining with the spankings and paddles at home. What about
You're
at
from
home,
Nashville. I'm
period?
pretty sure it's one of the 19 states.
Yeah,
You're
that
from
would make
Tennessee.
sense. I didn't even look at the list
And
exactly.
you
but if
have a
said-
child, so like you're probably
Yeah.
thinking about this stuff
My
too. How do
wife
you
is the one who
discipline?
really mainly brought it to my attention because I just assumed that's how I was raised, little pop on the hand. I had friends who were much worse than that, but for me, it was never like I looked back at that time and frowned upon it. It was like, it was just a period of time. I remember when spankings didn't work for me anymore. And I got that spank, was like, because it really was just psychological. It's like, wait, this ain't shit. but I couldn't even
That just reminded me of a
imagine.
movie. But
I couldn't even imagine popping my daughter now. I couldn't even imagine.
No?
Nah, not at all.
I don't know, man. I might discipline my kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
You just gotta talk to them.
I
They
don't
can
know.
understand shit. You just talk to them. Like you don't want to get hit by somebody, right? You wouldn't want someone to be like, "I'm gonna discipline you right now," like a cop or somebody like that.
Some kids doesn't work. Talking doesn't work, man. Like sometimes a little pow pow.
But
What
it's-
does
actually-
not work mean though?
Yeah.
Because that's our standard. That's like you want them to conform to our idea of what their behavior should be, but their brain might not even work like that. So, are you able to be understanding of? They don't even know what I'm trying to get them to do because they have no reference of what the world is. So, me spanking them and disciplining them is me trying to get them to be to adhere to my standards of the life that I've lived. Which in some ways, yeah, that might be the best choice, but in other ways I think things were forced on us that we haven't really necessarily thought out fully. And then we have kids and we just want to put that on them. It's like, this is how I was raised, this is how I'm supposed to be. You do that too. You do this too.
I think also people who
That's
have
how circumcisions
pets,
happen, actually.
like
We don't really have to circumcise, but we do it because our parents did it.
True shit.
But
Why-
that's
why
like
bring that
that's
up?
how you train a dog, right? Like you gotta hit your dog if you're training them.
Well,
at
no,
some
you
point.
don't. Though.
You
I mean,
don't.
that's like the old school. That's the old guard of dog training, apparently. 'Cause,
Does that
like,
just not happen though?
Yeah,
Just do the
non-aversive
season
dog
long.
training is like the new wave, you know. Because
Ah.
like there was like
I wish
like
it
when
was
there
that
was
easy to just,
popular
like, bop my kid
shows
on the
about
nose
like
and
that guy, the dog whisperer, who would sometimes use
Caesar.
aversive methods.
Yeah.
Like I was working for a dog trainer at the time, and she was like, "That works if you're like a magician with it. Like if you really communicate well, so that your physicality and just like a little bit of physical intervention with this other being that doesn't even speak your language can be effective. But for the average person who owns a dog, you're just going to be creating this enmity between you and the animal, and enmity between the animal and the world." And I think the same thing probably adheres, you know, even when our relationships with one another. It's like if you use violence to like try and dissuade from violence, you're probably just going to make more violence.
I'm
But
not
I
gonna
do
lie,
see that it's
sometimes
hard
paddling
to,
works in
you know, that must be
relationships, though.
difficult though, like defining, like, you know, because you have this truth, you know,
Yes.
that it's very difficult to define the objectives that you're even trying to impart to this person that you're responsible for, and that it's hard to find like what those ideals actually are. But then like in practice, you do have to create some definitions, and like how far do you go in doing that? Like, I don't know. I sure don't know how to answer that, you know.
Can we give Cernate a show on City World Radio, please? I can
Real
listen to
talk.
him all day.
Yes.
Real talk.
I can listen to him all day.
I just want to come to the sex parties.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, but do both.
So people tuning in have
There's
no,
no
idea what
context
we're
for that.
talking about. But imagine someone just tuning in and be like, "What?
Sex parties?
Boozy news,
I'm
booze,
sharing
world
this
news,
right
sex
now.
parties."
This drink is great, by the
Yeah,
way.
you did a
Thank
great
you very
job.
much.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
delicious.
And moderate.
Very
Actually,
good.
I noticed I poured a lot. I was really heavy. It's like half the bottle already gone.
Wow.
Some hints of like
So I had to
chamomile
make up
in
for
here.
it with less ice and more club soda.
You
but-
taste the chamomile.
Oh, it tastes chamomile, yeah.
Does anyone know the
Very
difference between like
relaxed.
sodium-free club soda? Just because I don't.
No.
I was like, give them both. Let me get both.
I think the sodium-free one has less sodium.
Yeah? You think so?
Yeah.
Or maybe no sodium?
No
It might
sodium.
be none.
I like my gin with extra sodium.
Salted.
Salty. Anyway, that's... God, we talked a lot about paddling, huh? Wow.
That's a really weird
It's,
thing.
it just comes down to like disciplining your children. Like,
Yeah, how do you
what's
discipline
your
children?
preferred method? And I know what my method was, and I feel like I'm a good person. My parents did hit me, and it didn't make me want to become a bully in school or
It worked.
Do crime
You
or
don't have-
whatever.
Right. And I have that conversation a lot. I ask parents, they're like, you turned out fine? Did you get... Yeah, I did. Okay.
I don't think you're gonna hit your daughter because that's your daughter. Like I think it's
That's a whole
your
nother
wife.
conversation.
If like a
I think
serious...
your wife's
Whole
gonna be
nother
more of like the
conversation.
nurturing. Like I think the wife's
Yeah.
gonna be like the one like trying to like, this is what's happening in the world and this is how you should. Like, well, the
I've been
father's
thinking
more
about that
like
too. Should
the
I be
father's like
raising her
that-
differently because she's a girl? Is that a thing I should be?
Yo,
doing?
that is
I don't
such a
think
good question.
I don't think you can help it, man. Like
It's right. It's innate because I think because at first we thought we were gonna have a boy, and then the doctor's like, "No, this is a mistake. It's a girl," and it really did like switch my whole thing. I was
a
like,
beautiful
"Oh,
mistake."
snap!" Yeah, and it was
It's a
great.
happy
It was
accident.
like wow, but it definitely did make me think about her differently. So I don't know, and I've seen some stuff on it. Like, is that good? That seemed like it could be kind of crippling in a way in itself. Like,
I mean, I think it's important to just remember that, just because she's, inside a female body, like the things that are going to be important to her regarding her body are going to be specific to her body, but otherwise her mental world, the things that excite her, the colors she likes, the activities she wants to participate in, that is not defined by gender or sex. So you can
oh my god, I just
do whatever
realized
you
my
want.
dad hit me and my mother hit my sister. My dad never hit
Wow.
my sister.
They
Wow.
divvied it up.
I don't remember
my
my
dad,
dad
hit me a couple
what
times.
were the dynamics of that? Oh.
Because my sister, there was one time my mother hit my sister. Oh my god, it's live, and my sister ran away to my father's crib. Like he was like always her escape. I feel like if my father hit my sister,
Yeah.
she might be more prone to dating guys who are okay with hitting her.
Jamie, did it feel any different that your dad that you got discipline from him versus when your mom?
And now
did?
Jamie likes paddling.
Not really, because I
Yeah.
feel like I actually don't have a memory of my mom hitting me. It's
Okay.
only memories of my dad hitting me.
Okay.
And it wasn't that often like you. Like, it wasn't.
But it only happens in
You know.
Delaware.
That's what you repping.
no,
you
it
repping Delaware.
it wasn't that often, and I remember getting to the point too where I was like, what is that, you know? But
You guys never saw Freddy
whatever.
Krueger, like, New
Moments.
Nightmare? You
Yeah.
never saw like Friday the 13th, New Nightmare?
Is that
Where like
the
Freddy Krueger
13th
became
one?
Freddy Krueger because his father would always discipline him. And there was
I'm
one
pretty
point.
sure I've seen that one.
There was
yeah.
one point where like he started to like cut himself, and then like the pain that he put on himself was nothing compared.
It was nothing. Yeah.
Like his father hitting him
I
was
think I've
nothing
seen
compared
that.
to that pain. So his father kept trying to hit him with the belt, and he's like,
so that's what you've been thinking of
And
this
they
whole
became Freddy
time.
Krueger.
This whole conversation. That's what you've been picturing.
Actually, I was thinking about what you said when you thought it
Yeah.
was gonna be a boy.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about Peter and Family Guy.
Oh, okay.
When they were like, "It's a girl," and he's like holding like a football and a baseball bat. He's like, "Can you check again?" It's okay. She can play sports too. It's all good.
Oh man.
It's like Hilla said. It's the activities don't really matter on gender. So enough with the paddling. Jeez. Mac Miller, John Legend. I don't. There's so many.
Maybe we should go on the other
Oh,
order.
I know, right? We should.
Oh, man.
I don't want to end it on a sad note.
Oh man. Yeah.
Well, it's not just about Mac Miller. The only reason why I brought it up was because this isn't the first time a celebrity. He almost made it to the 27 Club, but thank God we didn't just put him in that category. He died before the 27 Club from an overdose. And it's not just artists; it's also actors and just musicians in general. Why? Like, I know we all have our reasons. We could say mental illness. We could say depression from a breakup with Ariana Grande. I mean, if I broke up with Ariana Grande, I don't know. I may be feeling down too, but I'm not going to do anything to myself. Also, that was a long time ago. That was
Yeah, I didn't even know that they were together. So
They were
to me,
together for
like,
2
I
years.
didn't until
It was-
I just recently saw that. Yeah.
it was kind of a big deal in his career because he was up and coming, and they dated, and they were like, "Oh, who is this guy?" Like, he's a pretty good rapper who's doing well for himself, and he's dating Ariana Grande.
I like
Yeah.
that song they did, which was like the Big Pun beat remake, The Way and stuff. That was good. I didn't know they were together or anything, but still.
2
And I
years.
saw that post that she had posted about him. She
I'm
was
not gonna
like,
lie. I'm very old school. I listen to a lot of older artists. I don't really listen to like Mac Miller or 6ix9ine. What's his name?
Those two very different. Those are
Tekashi.
just
I know. They don't rap.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that they're new, and I get a little skeptical. So I'm like, oh god, like, do you sound like the
Mac
way
was
your
musical.
colorful
That's why I
rainbow
respect
teeth?
Mac a lot. He always did a lot of stuff with bands. He was very introspective, and I don't listen to a lot of his music either. But all the conversations I had, that's what people would talk about: how the lyrics connected, and then how it was just so musical too. So I know that was just really heavy for a lot of people that were his fans and stuff.
You see all these notes I have for John Legend and like Venezuela and like Georgia. Mac Miller, 26, drug overdose. Ariana Grande. That's all I knew about the kid. I didn't hear a lot of his music. It's really
Yeah.
sad what happened, but it's an example of what's going on in the entertainment world.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger, like you
I
can
mean,
keep going on. You can go on and on with this.
Yeah, I didn't listen to him too much, but I did work for him one time. We were working on one of his music videos, and I actually don't remember what song it was, but like I remember meeting him, and yeah, the news is crazy. Like, how do you understand and reconcile with all of the suicide and drug use that's going on in the artist communities, especially the ones that are succeeding? We're artists that are trying to be on the level of, like, if we died of an overdose, people would talk about it, So, like, to think about how crazy it is to, like, be successful, to have a record deal, or to have, like, all these fans, and then to actually end up killing yourself. Like, that's something that sits with me. I'm like, yo, your life, you're not happy.
I don't think he planned to kill. It wasn't.
But
I don't think it was a
that's true. It's not
though.
suicide. It's like, but you're taking drugs that are really
That's what I was
dangerous.
wondering,
You
yeah.
know, like,
So it wasn't just outright. I guess there's no way to prove it, but it probably wasn't a situation where he was just like, "I'm done."
no, I don't think so. Probably not. But when you're taking drugs like that, on
Yeah.
that, like in that much drugs, like you are risking your life. Like,
Yeah.
like that's a possibility. I think.
I mean, even with like, we could die from alcohol poisoning with this. With what we're
with the
doing
one
right now.
drink
Oh,
that
yeah,
I'm
it's-
like
Not one
nursing.
drink. I'm just saying, like, if we.
But
One
the
sip
tonic
at a
water.
time.
There are people who go out to bars and they drink in excess, and they know what they're getting into. Well, they knew that they were about to dive into this, like, world of 3 sheets and squiffiness and pixelation. All I'm saying is, he did the same thing but with drugs instead of alcohol. I don't think he was trying to like kill himself. I just felt as though he was feeling good.
I think that there's like there's an instability and complicated texture to living right now, especially if you're engaging with a lot of people at once, like with social media and stuff like that, and trying to get your work out. And then if you expand that onto an exponentially larger and larger scale, you know, I mean, I'm 31. He's a little younger than he passed away younger than I am right now. But like, if I get sad about stuff, it's because of this weird interplay between my real like meat life, the people that I talk to physically, and the like strange matrix of which I'm a part, which is also this other whole reality. And artists that are coming up right now are coming up through that. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, artists have been troubled for, you know, all throughout the 20th century in the history of popular music, but it's got to be even more complicated now, where it's like it's not just you go into the recording studio and make your music and then you play your shows and you try not to party too hard and get too addicted and like kill yourself doing so, but like just like the psychological strangeness of constantly being everywhere at once, you on everybody's screens at once, jockeying for the attention of everybody at once in a cultural matrix where that attention is more ephemeral than ever, and you're both like where you are at a given moment, but you're also everywhere at all moments. You know what I mean? Like same thing that celebrity has probably always been throughout like the media age, but like just amped up to this like exponential new like caliber that I think people even on a very small scale feel it, where they feel the pressures of like what's going on with their outreach and trying to make it. And
what
stuff
about
like
the
that.
celebrities that were able to go through all that with a leveled head? They kept their calm above troubled waters, and they still made it.
I mean, they should
How about-
write. They should
how
write some
about every-
books. You know, I don't know. Like they
How
should
about like
really,
every celebrity from like, or every rapper from like the late 80s, early 90s who are still rapping? They were young at one point, like Prodigy.
Well, that's what I'm trying
You
to
know,
say
like,
is that there's something maybe qualitatively
Dogg was, like,
different about this
19
like
when,
exact moment. You know what I mean? This moment, this like this media moment, this like where the market is the way it is right now, where the culture is the way it is right now. Not just in hip hop and in popular culture in general.
I think fame can be quicker. Like you can blow up super quicker than you used to be able to, and you could fall off even quicker.
Yeah,
and you can get way bigger. Like
We're talking
than you
about
ever
Mac
used to be able
Miller
to.
way after he
That's right.
blew up or fell off. I mean, he was still touring.
Was he
still-
independent? Like, what was his come up like?
I was
he
wondering
like,
about that as well.
Yeah,
He
what was
just,
his?
he just released an album. He just released
Right,
an
but
album
what was
in
his
August.
like entry point? Like, what was his like breaking through moment?
Let's
Was he on a
Wikipedia
label?
this
Like,
shit.
yeah.
Let's-
There you go.
All right, we can fact check. Oh,
Let's look it up.
it was really a drug overdose conversation, but still,
But this
we would
this
like to
factors-
know about
I
Mac
mean-
Miller.
this factors into it.
It's
You
though.
know,
also
Rory,
related
if we
to,
could
like,
just
what
fact
brings
check
you
with
to
Rory.
Oh.
Rory like loved him religiously, and you know,
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Rory, Big Red, yeah, he loves Mac Miller.
I didn't know that.
It hit him harder than everyone else. Why? I don't know.
Yo, I
he
mean,
loved him so much.
it's hard for me to
Rory's a
understand.
good friend
and-
of ours
and
who
completely,
also raps.
Yeah, Rory's dope. Yo, Big Red. Shout out Big Red. You think he's listening?
He's rapping right now at Supreme Fam.
That's true,
while we're
that's
doing
true.
this.
You know, I got to join for a while because I was at this place, Dr. Brendan's, getting my phone repaired on Astor Place. Saw Super King walking by, and I was like, oh. So I was like, they were like, it's going to take 15 minutes. So I go rap for 15 minutes, get my phone, then I came here. It was perfect.
You met up with Super King over in Astor Place,
Yeah, because I was waiting for my phone to get repaired, like right down the street.
and I ran into you yesterday.
It was weird.
Oh my god! You know, I ran into this guy at Broadway Lafayette just
Yeah,
randomly. I'm like,
Yeah, yesterday. That's
oh,
why
what?
we're having
You
the
were-
gym.
What were you doing at Broadway Lafayette?
I had to go to Madam X, where Karina used
Yeah.
to work, and she was interviewing people for this Hangover video that she did.
Oh, cool.
And then I ran into, Sir Nate
That's
here.
the hood, you know. So hood.
I mean, it's such a small city, man. No one knows that. 8.5 million people, but I keep running into the same people in the streets.
It's true. That's one thing I know.
Also, I know a lot of people.
Yeah, but I guess
I can
it's
see
like,
that.
it's hard for me. It's hard for me to understand and relate because I don't take like drugs on that level. Like I smoke weed, you know, and I'll drink alcohol. I will feel depressed and suicidal, but like I don't partake in like drugs that are going to like fuck me up like that. Like I just haven't done that yet, you know. So it's hard for me to understand like how that happens and how that becomes part of your life.
Right.
But I know it does for many people.
I mean, most of the time that people take drugs is to forget something.
Right.
It's always like 9 times out of 10, it's to
like
Be numb
escape.
to it.
to be
Yeah.
numb. Yeah,
Yeah.
to be numb to something that they don't want to think
I'm not
about.
going to lie. After a very long shift, I go to a bar, we drink because I don't want to think of anything anymore. And it happens a lot. I don't try to go to a bar to get wasted. I just want to drink so my mind can be numb for a second. I don't want to think about the 3 different events that I have to do in like 2 days and whatever. I just want to like chill.
Yeah.
And honestly, as naive as it sounds, most people, everyone in this world always has the attitude of like, it won't happen to me.
Right.
So
That's
people will constantly push the envelope on how much they can stand or how much they can do, or, it's okay, it won't happen to me, or I can handle this, or I've done it before, so I can do it this time, and I can do it again. And that's the sad part about addicting drugs, is that it just gets to a point where you don't care, and you think that you're invisible.
How many drugs do you think Eminem actually did, like while, before, during, after rapping about it?
Drugs?
He rapped
Eminem?
he rapped about
What's
doing
our
drugs.
unit of reckoning? Like,
I'm just saying, like
Eminem or Mac Miller?
Eminem. I'm talking about Eminem now. Like, how many drugs do you think he did, and how did he all of a sudden make it past the 27 Club, still alive, still dissing people?
How old is Eminem?
40. Jeez, I don't know.
In his
63.
40s. I mean, I don't know. Eminem has found many ways to deal with his issues and anger and depression, I think. Like, he obviously puts it into his music a lot, and every person is different. I don't know if he's taking... I didn't know that Eminem was a drug taker. Like, I didn't... that never, like, came across
there was
in his
Stan
music.
where he was just like, come on, do that shit, just clowning, dog. How fucked up is you? Like,
The albums in
maybe
the
he
past
doesn't...
8 years, relapse, recovery.
I feel like he actually did go through a lot of the stuff that he rapped
Yeah,
about.
he
I don't
must
think he was
have.
clowning the entire
No, I
time.
don't think so either. I never like connected drug use to Eminem for some reason. Maybe I haven't listened to his music.
I
deeply
only
enough.
think about Eminem and drug because there's been conversations I've had with so many of my friends, mostly POC, who we talk about how Eminem just can't really rap about the same thing people rap about when they're from the hood. Yeah, he'll talk about Detroit, whatever, D12 and whatever, that sort of hood, but it's not like Bubba Sparks rapping about like the countryside or whatever. Eminem would rap about the hood sometimes, but he'll mostly rap about how fucked up he is, like how much drugs or liquor or whatever he took. I just drank a fifth of vodka, like purple
Right.
pills
That's
and
true,
whatever.
that's
Like he talked about drugs a lot because I think that was his connection to people who mostly listen to hip hop. People listen to hip hop, rebellious. We also come from the hood. We also do drugs. We also do all kinds of rebellious, crazy stuff to our bodies and whatever, right? And I feel like that was Eminem's like link to. Also, he was just a freaking lyrical genius. Other than that, he couldn't talk about the hood, so he talked about all this other stuff. Whether or not he actually did it, we just don't know. We
I guess that's true.
assume that he did. We assume that he has like
Right.
thoughts about killing his mom and his girlfriend, whatever. That he had to be a little psycho in order to break in, and then he did it, and it worked. I feel like a lot of that could actually have been true.
Returning to the thing that we were talking about like running from something, like I was thinking about how, yeah, if we try to make it a generalized sort of assessment of the opioid crisis in general, just in the United States or in the world, that like people wanting to run from something is a relevant structure for thinking about what the motivation is. But then we also have like antidepressants and stuff like that, and like so. I was thinking about a friend of mine who was telling me about having gone on a new antidepressant, and I've always been wary of those things because my like inner fear is like, oh, maybe I would be a lot happier because I get depressed sometimes. You know what I mean? I have a lot of complexes, like everybody does. And I think about what if I was on something like that, but then I always go like, oh, what if it took away my creativity? But this particular friend that I was thinking about, like, extremely creative person, extremely productive person, like they're killing it all the time, and like I didn't even know that they were going through stuff, and then they're saying they're on this new antidepressant, and they're like just doing great, and I was like, there really seems to be no drawbacks to this. You know what I mean? Like what? I don't see the problem if there is one, besides the fact that you got to like have the hookup to be able to afford that antidepressant, or like it's covered by insurance, or you've got enough going on that you can make that happen. And so maybe people who are doing the opioid thing are like looking for the same kind of just like basic thing. So if it's an artificial modification of the regular functioning of our chemistry and our consciousness for that reason, like, is that okay in the first place? You know what I mean? Like,
When would it ever be okay?
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, is it okay for somebody to need antidepressants but to function beautifully with them, make amazing art with them, do it well, do it consistently?
Ritalin and ADD or
Like, yeah, because there's
Red
nothing.
Man
I
and
wouldn't
Weed.
say it's morally wrong for somebody who feels like they need antidepressants to use them and be dependent on them and function well with them. And somebody who's taking opioids, I feel like it's something resembling the same reasons, but maybe they don't have access, or maybe it's,
Yeah.
He could have just been having a good time because he had the money to do so, and he went overboard.
I took a class with somebody over one summer semester where they were telling me during a break that they would take heroin recreationally.
Oh shit.
And I was like, okay. And he was explaining it to me. And he was just like, yeah, like I just take a little bit, but like it's amazing. Like it opens me up. And he was telling me all these amazing things that it does for him. And in my mind, I'm just thinking like heroin, no, like absolutely not. Right. But that's just me because of the way that I was raised, and like I was thinking like there's just no way that I would try that shit.
Everyone.
But I don't know. Like I heard the voices of people being like, "Don't try heroin," and I was like, "Okay." But when I was talking to him, I did. He was, explaining it to me in a way that made me feel like, I guess maybe I
made
could,
a good case for it.
Maybe I could try it.
You work in hospitality. You work at a bar.
recreationally,
You work at a restaurant. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
Not just heroin. Everyone's doing everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've taken a lot of drugs, but like I also
That's
have always
be
felt
rare,
in control.
Yeah,
People who just do enough to.
Right.
Yeah, that must be rare,
Feel
but that
it.
was his thing. Yeah.
It'd be a way different
I've heard
news
a similar
podcast.
conversation
Sex,
like that
drugs, and
before.
rock and roll, man.
That was also a long time ago, and I never stayed in touch with this person, so I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what is going on with
What's
him.
going
I don't.
on,
Yeah,
yeah.
I have no idea.
Wow, functional heroin. I wouldn't know. Honestly, I'll say it right now. Most people know this already, but I haven't smoked anything my entire life.
No cigarettes, no weed.
No cigarettes, no weed.
No
That's
tea.
a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. My best friend Brian, he got married. I was his best man. I coordinated the cruise that we all did together, and I did have a cigar, and that's it. I had a cigar.
Did you like it, or did you feel like shit after it?
Actually, it wasn't that bad.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
I had 2 cigars.
2?
Wow.
In one sitting?
The night before and the next day. It was a long cruise.
Okay.
And I had cigars, but that's it. I never did weed. I never did cigarettes. Not that. Well, yeah, I'm lame, but not that.
I think that's amazing.
I've worked studio sessions for over 15 years and whatnot. Everyone's smoking in my face, even blow it in my face when they're all like high and drunk. Like, he doesn't smoke. Everyone knew that I was the guy that just didn't smoke. So like my lungs are amazing. My liver is shot, but my lungs are awesome. But I do have like secondhand lungs.
I was about to say secondhand smoke, yo.
Right. So I have secondhand lungs from the inhalation. I probably shouldn't have allowed my dog to be in a lot of the studio sessions, or he probably would have lived a little bit longer. But he lived for 19 years, so that's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long
19 is a long time.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, like, I know for a fact that if I did drink and smoke, I know a lot of people can do it in moderation, blah, blah, blah. I drink, and sometimes, yes, I drink more than I should. But if I smoked, I feel like I just wouldn't have I wouldn't have control of my life. I feel like if I did more than just drink as a vice, I wouldn't have as much. I wouldn't be able to plan events the way I do. I wouldn't be able to like focus at work or whatever.
Weed has this special ingredient in it called "fuck it." That's Cat Williams. That's Cat Williams.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I would be able to have as much control in my life if I had more than one vice. That's all. But that's just me. Everyone has their thing.
I function off very small amounts of THC. I don't smoke a lot, but just very small amounts.
Same.
Does your wife smoke?
She used to, but not since pregnancy, and since then she hasn't really liked it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that 9 months and such, she was like,
What's going to be your approach, like sort of like, circling back, like to talking about drugs with your daughter, like, like what?
We want to know how you're going to, like, you're not going to hate your daughter, but you're going to talk to her about drugs?
I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, I didn't do any psychedelics until after I graduated high school. If I can get that with her, that would be amazing.
But are you going to like set that up as like as a hope, like?
The thing is,
Do it after high school.
I think so.
You tell them your daughter's
I really
name. I
think
love your
so.
I
daughter's
like
name.
that.
What's
Her
your
name
daughter's
is
name?
Aura.
Aura.
Yes.
That's what my name means, yo.
Oh, I knew it.
That's
See?
so crazy.
You said she was going
I just knew they were
That's
going to
what's
love the
up.
name.
That's my
That's
aunt's
what's up.
name also, Aura.
Oh.
Yo, that's so cool. What a
That's
beautiful
what's up.
name. Yeah.
My wife's sister had a dream that we were going to name her that, and we were still
Wow.
thinking of the
Oh,
name.
my God.
And then we heard that it was like, yes.
Boy, you really
Yes,
can't argue with that.
Exactly. But the thing about my wife, she went through her smoking and weed and drinking phase when she was 14, 15, 16, and just got out of her system.
Yeah.
So she
Wow.
did it a little bit, like in college and everything. But in college, I was going hard. I was going really hard.
He's from
So-
Tennessee. I was going hard.
No, son, boom. So look, boom. So like, check it, money. So
hard. It's not hard. It's
So
hard.
I don't know. I would like to hold her to that standard, but I know everybody's different.
Right.
So I can't really say that that's going to work for her. And then my goal is just that she's able to do everything in moderation. That would
Right.
be the hope.
Future from the South. I'm also sort of from the South. Were you raised religiously?
Absolutely.
Are you going to raise your daughter, like, as far, like,
Absolutely not. It's
understand
very
God, or-
spiritual.
Right.
I want her to understand spirituality, to understand manifestation, to
Okay.
understand, her spiritual health, to understand how that relates to her mental health with meditation, with being at peace,
Good.
how she relates with other people. But I don't think there's a standard for how she has to translate that
You're
necessarily.
the only one with a kid right
I
over
like
here,
that,
so that's
yeah.
why we're
Yeah.
all like focused on
That's
it.
very cool. Yo. I
Little
took
future.
shrooms for the first time when I was in 8th grade.
Wow.
So that was
my
like
God.
And I have a lot of friends who
crazy.
did.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's so
In
scary.
eighth
No, but
grade,
that's like
I had
for
to
me,
learn the
like-
entire
That's
book
so
of Genesis
scary.
in 8th grade.
In 8th
You're
grade, I had
taking
this.
You learned
psychedelics.
all of Genesis?
I was in a Christian school. Just so you guys know, full disclosure, I was super religious when I was a kid. I wasn't super religious.
How much of Genesis can you still do?
Genesis is like one of the longest books of the Bible.
I know,
Like
it's
the
really
flood,
long.
Everything's in Genesis. It's ridiculous.
So I'm not
I
trying to
didn't- I
interrupt the
didn't-
shroom story.
I didn't study the
That's not
Torah.
really
I didn't
sorry.
study the Torah or anything.
Me neither.
But all I'm saying
Well, but
is,
you were studying Genesis.
I'm just saying, I was in a very Christian school. It was 8th grade. Just 8th grade, I was in Christian school. My parents just decided that I should be in Christian school. I wasn't even that bad. But I was still super religious until I came to New York. I started reading more books and blah, blah. I didn't even drink until I was 21. And then I never stopped.
You're like, it's legal
I
now.
went to Full Sail. It's not a normal college. It's not like a 4-year college. It's like
Yeah,
a private
yeah.
university. So, like, I didn't really get to experience all the things that college people experience. So I ended up experiencing that throughout my entire 20s. And now I think I'm okay. Whatever
Yeah.
you guys experienced in that 4-year stint in college,
I don't know.
I did my entire 20s.
Yeah, in college I didn't do very much because I had also similarly like I had gone through like party stage when I was between 15 and 18. So I was just like, whatever, I'm done.
Right.
But yeah, shrooms was weird when I was in 8th grade. I was like, what? Like I must have been like 13 or 14 at that point.
So you did cow dung when you were like in 8th grade.
Yeah, like I was, and this is funny because I remember prior to that experience, I was like, I'm gonna be a lawyer. I'm gonna be a fucking lawyer. You
And
know?
that's what.
And
was
then
like,
yo,
on shrooms,
I
you totally
swear,
figure out life. And
I
go
was
back
on
the other
shrooms
side.
and I was like, no, I can't be advocating other people's laws. I got to be making my own laws. I'm an artist.
Wow.
I love Hilla
amazing.
so much.
Wow.
Hilla's so cool.
yo,
I met Hilla
that's incredible.
upside down.
I was upside down.
She was upside down over at Terra Firma. I was like, yo, she's cool. I gotta know her. Has
So-
anyone done peyote at all? Or?
Yes.
No, I haven't
It
actually.
You
fucked
have.
me up, man. I ended up in the
Isn't
hospital.
peyote supposed
You
to
ended
be
up
like
in the
your Joshua
hospital?
tree?
Yeah.
Isn't peyote supposed to be the thing that like
I met God. I tried to
helps
fly.
you understand life?
Oh my word!
Yeah.
Yo.
And me and my wife took the same amount. She was cool. She remembered everything. Me, nope. I blacked out. I was talking with angels, demons. Like, it was crazy.
And that's when you started rapping. No.
No. This was like right before I moved to New York.
Besides the fact that
Wow.
you ended up in the hospital, was it an overall like positive experience?
It was the last psychedelic I'll probably do. I did
Ah.
shrooms one time after that in Amsterdam because I'm like, I got to.
Yeah.
In Amsterdam. That was way too strong. I don't think I'll be able
I
to
thought you had to
enjoy
smoke weed
a
like in
psychedelic
Amsterdam.
anymore. It's just, it's too much happened to where like I've experienced the highest level of tripping. I'll never be able to trip again. Maybe in like 10 years.
Right,
I'm glad you're
When I
here
forget.
talking to us right
Yeah.
now, and you're not ending up in some like dungeon in Eastern Europe. I watch too many movies.
You
Like,
really do.
I can't get I can't get messed up in Europe, and all of a sudden I just wake up like
With it like in a bathtub. For
like
life.
hostile, man. Like you just like they just snatch people. That what's Eli Roth? He actually.
You gotta feel safe in your own universe.
I'm just
you
saying,
know?
Eli Roth said that he got a lot of experiences from that movie Hostel, from actual things, stories that he heard about people being abducted and then taken to these dungeons
Oh,
and just
God.
tortured for money.
I did not
like-
know there was any truth
That's a
in that.
movie. though.
It's a movie,
No, but he's
said
saying he had
got
inspiration
Eli
for it
Roth
from
like,
real events.
ideas from stories that he heard, like
Yeah,
touristas, like people
fucked
just
up
abduct
shit
you for your
happens, you know?
organs. Like, anyway, it's hard to travel. Just be around good friends.
Yeah.
Also, I know we have to leave soon. We're pretty much done. But Future's being so humble. It's actually his birthday tomorrow.
Oh my goodness!
What? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's my birthday, by the way.
Birthday.
I'm gonna bring
Happy
some
birthday.
No, it's not just his birthday. How old you It's not just his birthday. Well, how old are you gonna be tomorrow?
It's my 30th. It's
Oh.
the
His
big
30th
30.
birthday
It's
tomorrow,
the big
y'all.
30, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Good job.
Look at my voice. Look at the
My
sine
mom
wave
made it.
on that. Oh my god. I peaked.
Nice
I'm sorry.
wave.
Nice wave.
But yeah,
Oh,
performing.
that's
So thank you for
amazing.
that. I
You're
didn't know
gonna
it was
perform
going
on
to
your
line
30th
up.
birthday at Supreme
That
Bars
always
tomorrow.
happens. I either record or perform on my birthday. That always happens.
Wow.
Just
and
so
it's
y'all-
never
just so
planned.
y'all
No, it's
know-
good to
I'm
do
gonna
one
be
of them.
there.
Otherwise, you feel that like that.
And I'm
gap.
not a big party person, so I like that I'm doing something
Yeah,
that
yeah.
people can enjoy.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
that's good.
You
That's
know,
good
Performing on your
business.
30th birthday at Supreme Bars. Future's
Yeah.
the only person
oh yeah, that's
at
right,
my
that's right.
event, Supreme Bars, that he won both the MC and the producer.
That's right. You've
Oh.
won both.
That is a huge accomplishment.
Not at the same
for me.
time because
That
I
is
don't
a
allow,
very
I don't
huge
allow people
accomplishment.
to rap over their own beats, whatever. Not at the same time. So like 1 month, he won. Well, more than 1 month. Yeah, he won like producer, and then he won MC.
You could
MC
theoretically
first.
make it so they would never
MC
have to rap
first,
it
He
on
won
beats, right?
MC first, but when did you win MC first? Within like 3 months of moving into New York, right?
Literally, the first event I went to New York in, I moved here summer 2015. I
Right.
went to Freestyle Mondays. I met Chaz Kangas. He was like, "You gotta check
forget about
out
it, yeah.
Supreme Bars," and that
Right.
was the next event I went to. And then,
And he won.
and I won.
And he-
yeah,
He just
Wow.
moved to New York.
it was like the
Yeah.
ultimate. I am doing the right thing.
There are
I'm
artists
following
in New
the
York
path.
that are like practicing their asses off to win at Freestyle Monday or Supreme Bars or
That
EO
got
Dub.
me so much.
Fuge comes out of
props.
nowhere. He comes not nowhere. He comes out of like
Thin air.
Nashville. He moves to New York and all of a sudden kicks
That got me
everyone's
so
ass.
much love back home. They was like, "Bro, you won a competition
my
in
God.
New York, the city where
Exactly.
it started." That
And
got
then
me
Future's like,
so
yo,
much
man, it
love,
wasn't
yo.
nothing, man. Yo, I'm good. You know, that's Future's. Yo, it's all good, man.
That's not me. That's
I never see you like. I never
was
see
very
you like.
ecstatic.
Over,
I was really
I don't
happy.
see you like over exuberant at all. I just sometimes when I talk to you, you're like, yeah.
It's
yeah.
the THC sometimes, you know.
He's like, yeah, I won that. Yeah, you know, I just got a daughter. And all. He's like, yeah, you know, whatever. I just got a kid. I'm
That's
about to
not
be 30
true.
tomorrow. I'm like, he's about to be 30, y'all. He's like, yeah.
I feel like
I'm
I'm always cheesing. I'm always talking way too much. So that's cool that's how you see me. That's what's up.
By the
Nah,
way,
I see you as an exuberant person.
Good.
Future
Most
has
of
his
the things
own
you
thing.
put out online, like I
Right?
relate,
On
you
YouTube,
know?
Yeah, you're very
Right?
like when
didn't
you're
even
like
talk about
doing the thing. You got
True.
like you got the
True.
big energy, but
It
then yeah, but
is.
right now you're like
It's
very
chill.
relaxed.
That's very
You know?
true.
You're pretty
You
relaxed.
need
It's
to
a
talk about
switch. It is a
Futurology.
switch going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Futurology. Please let them know about Futurology.
All right,
your
so I
philosophy.
just actually ended the first season of my web series Futurology, which did really well. Actually, I just wanted to showcase the fact that I do music, parodies, comedy, social commentary.
He's hilarious.
political
This guy. Y'all have
stuff.
no idea.
Yo, thank
Yes.
you, man.
Oh
for all
my
the
God.
support.
I agree.
appreciate
Very, very
that.
funny.
His editing skills are amazing. I wish I could learn from him.
Word. And that's what I really wanted to learn too, editing more as well. So I really want to pursue a lot more video stuff lately. I've been submitting my host demo reel and stuff to a bunch of places. So that's kind of the
One
next
of my
job.
favorites
Oh,
is
nice.
when you like put yourself into like biblical times. What was that? That
Oh,
video that
yeah,
you
yeah,
did?
yeah.
Like you're like
It was
he's
like
here.
medieval. It was medieval, yeah.
He's like he's arrived. And he put himself into like medieval times, sorry, biblical
Yeah.
times.
I'll have
I
to
love
show-
the hip
I'll have
hop
to show y'all
opera.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
Word. With me and
With
Naima. Word
Naima,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you were just like
That's so
the
random.
thing
too.
is, you have like the new Final Cut Pro. I got the Final Cut Pro that came with the
No,
laptop.
I use Premiere.
No,
I use
Premiere is where it's
Adobe.
I
at.
use Final Cut Pro.
Get out of
No.
Final Cut
Oh
Pro.
no, I'm sorry. All right.
The
fine.
only thing Final Cut
I'll
has a
shell out
leg
the
up
diff-
on
the
is
extra
render
money.
time.
Yeah, the render
Render
time
time
is
is
great.
amazing.
Yeah, if it's a race, which it never
It's like
is.
real
you know,
time
like-
rendering in Final Cut Pro. That's why I love it.
That's why you love it?
I love Final Cut Pro. Honestly, it just takes up so much. space
I
on my
also use
computer.
Final Cut Pro. Maybe we could do like a battle. You know what I mean? We'll
Yo,
all
we
shoot the
should do a
same thing,
battle.
and we'll see who can make the best video fastest.
Editing battle?
You guys
Yeah.
can make
Win.
better videos because you
Do
guys
this.
have so much more.
What's the name for this? Supreme.
Supreme editors.
I like
Some
this.
The most
Supreme
boring
barcode.
event.
Premiere versus Final Cut. Yo,
Supreme Simpty. Supreme
Future
Simpty.
and I are gonna win. Like, there's
I
no
don't
way.
No, we got y'all on this
Yo,
week.
this is
It has to be teams. It definitely has
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
teams.
yeah.
It's us versus you.
Yeah, we'll
'cause
take you
y'all
on.
The Final Cut.
I can't read Simpty time code or any of that stuff, but still, like, wow. All right, Futurology. You have an album coming out.
Yes, I have. The single just dropped last week. It's called Shining Star. It's produced by my man Boba Sweat. We did our whole last project together.
Not Boba Fett.
No, Boba Sweat. Exactly. So it's like electronic hip hop, but some like chip tune video game sounds in there also.
If your
So
name's
definitely
gonna
has
be like
some
off
retro
of Star
vibes.
Wars, it better be
Where's
something.
the single
Right.
at? Is it on SoundCloud?
It's on everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Tidal,
Yo, Spotify?
Spotify, everywhere. Look up Shining Star and Future. That's FYUTCH. The EP comes out on October 9th.
What's the
And
name
it's
of the
gonna be
two
super
dots on
dope.
top of the U? It's like
Umlau. It's just
wait. I thought the umlaut was the.
ew.
So the umlaut is just 2 dots. Period. I thought the umlaut was the A with the 2 dots.
No,
It's just a
you
two
can put an
dots,
umlaut
yeah.
over
The 2 dots
anything.
are called
Over any
umlaut,
vowel.
right?
Yo, I remember
Yeah.
one of the first times that I ever saw you perform, you were telling the audience, please follow me on Spotify because I can't change my profile picture. And I
That
was
was
like, yo.
crucial.
And I was like, yo, yes, I understand that struggle.
That was crucial. But right
And I
after
followed
that,
you immediately.
thank you. Right after
Does
that, they released
Spotify
it to where you
warn
didn't need
you?
followers and you could change it. So I just felt dumb as hell saying that. It was like, now, introducing the new feature. Artists of all levels can just... It's like, all right.
So I picture him holding the beer.
Thanks. But yes, thank you. That's a plug. Everybody go check it out.
Yeah.
Killing Hate.
Yeah,
Yo.
that's us.
Sir Nate and Hilla the Killer. What's the next project? Are we getting naked on stage or what's going on?
We
No,
have
yeah, we
gotten
did that
naked
the other
on
day. It was a
stage.
very
That's
liberating
why I said that. I
experience.
wish I was there. I wish I could see y'all naked on stage. I just couldn't make
We
it.
can get naked right now, but it's not like a
It's
radio
kind of
thing.
funny because
This
after
is
we
the
finished
place
that,
to get naked. This is-
the radio, yeah. Yeah, well, you know.
So what's the next project? What's the next performance?
We're gonna be dropping an album in the next couple weeks. Actually,
Yeah.
Really?
We just
It was
finished
nice.
it. It's
It's gonna be kind of a
mastered,
surprise,
It's
What's it gonna
ready.
be called?
No,
How
it's
to
not.
Save the World in 20 tracks?
It's called
Uh,
Baby Album.
It's called
Baby
Baby
Album.
Album. Yeah.
Kill
'Cause
and
it's-
Hate Baby
It's
Album.
our baby album.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Aw.
it's songs that we've been creating in the last 2 years of knowing each other. So some of them are really old, some of them are new, and so they kind of like embody this, you know, toddler like year of like us
Aw.
knowing each other, and so it's a baby album. And yeah, it's gonna come out soon. Like,
Favorite track each, go.
oh shit, you love the first track.
I love the first track.
It's
well,
the
'cause,
newest
like,
track.
from like a production angle, you know, like because it was just the most fortuitous. Because it was just like this intro track that we had this whole idea for, where we're gonna like introduce it together, and we were like announcers like before a boxing match, like talking about ourselves.
Weighing in,
But then
100.
that didn't work out. So now
100
it's just
pounds,
this
you're
like
both really
pitch down
big.
vocal, like defining what it is to be killing hate, and then like some like our man John Swan is doing some like pretty sick cuts on it, and so that's a really like exciting thing. And
That's
it
a
has
really
a sample
cool
from the
friend's
show
name, Boba
Dinosaurs.
Sweat,
Remember
John Swan.
Dinosaurs with
John
like that dinosaur family?
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
old.
Yes.
it's got the baby from Dinosaurs.
Who's
he like
the
brings the whole
baby?
What
thing.
does he
Yeah,
say?
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
It's like, I want to sing.
It's the scene where he's like arguing with the television because he's watching or like the dinosaur equivalent of MTV, and like he's pissed off because there's no good music out there, and so the TV starts talking back, and it's like, yo baby, so like you got some music, and he's like, and now here's the baby with a song, and the baby's like, kick it, and then he does this really bad song in the show.
I only remember
that's what
2
introduced
lines
the
from
album.
the kid.
Yo, my
Not the
favorite.
papa, gotta love, not the daddy, and gotta love me.
Yeah,
Gotta love me.
That's right.
Gotta love me.
It's a
Gotta
deep
love
I'm the
me.
baby.
weird
I'm
show.
the baby. Gotta love me.
Gotta love me.
Not the daddy. Bang, 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 pan on the dad's head.
As I was revisiting it, like looking for that sample, and just sort of then I was watching it a little bit. It's just a very like strange program. You know what I mean? Like
course it's
it's got
strange.
moments that are like pretty funny, but the other moments that just like get under your skin. They're
The
just like
teenage
weird.
angst of
you know?
the daughter and the son.
Yeah.
and- yeah, I remember all that, man. Like,
Man.
I
That was
went
one of
through
the
all
moments where when somebody posted on Facebook is like, do you remember this? That's the first time I had that flashback.
and he was
Like,
like,
I hadn't
oh,
thought
I'm
about it
turning
in
years.
30. Oh, no. He's like, I'm turning 30. Yes, I remember this.
I'm not 30 yet. I got what? 4 more hours.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
what are you
5
doing?
more
What are you doing at
hours.
12 midnight? Are you like,
Oh God, I'm sleeping.
aw.
Our baby wake up at 6 a.m.
How much sleep do you
Wow.
get on a daily
Yeah.
basis?
on
I
a,
wish I was a baby who could wake up at 6 a.m.
about
Be
6
like, I'm
hours of
ready.
sleep. 6 hours is a good night.
Do you remember the Facebook? Okay, so that's a lot of questions on Facebook. Do you remember the question, like how much sleep do you get? And then Dex and Yvonne and all my friends who just had kids, AB Lugo, they're all like, oh, we only get like 3-4 hours. Depends on the child. I was like, if I just had a child, I wouldn't care if I lost sleep for the first week, and
Right.
then it might start to annoy me. But
It was
a
a descent into darkness.
I
That's
still
what it
envy
was.
you. Not like
I've
having
now
sleep
seen the
because you have a
light,
child?
but man, I was loopy, and people knew it too. Like it was all over me.
Really?
Like, are you okay? I got that question a lot.
I bet you acted the same. Yeah, man. I'm good. Man.
Yeah, the
switch-
the switch didn't turn on that much during that period.
Hey,
it was
you know
all
me,
for a
dog.
while.
Hey, dog. I'm just.
Never
You
say
dog. You say dog. Yeah, you do. You say yo, dog. Guys.
I want you to ask me in a skit. Like, I want you to portray me.
I actually could. If you ask Jamie, I'm actually not bad at impressions.
Yeah, do you do impressions
Jamie,
of
my
all the
dad.
rappers?
yeah,
You know?
let's see some impressions.
Let's do some
We
impressions.
know a lot of the same people.
No, come on. Now I'm on the spot. I do. It's got to be very like.
You have to like study and craft it, and then you can do it.
Jamie gets surprised. Jamie gets surprised many times when I do different actors and celebrities and.
On the spot.
You know. I can't. No, I'm not gonna do it on the spot. No.
My favorite
After some Green
track
Hook?
on the album
Oh yeah.
is like
Sorry, hello.
No, it's all
And we're out. That's all the time we have.
Hello. What's your favorite song? Anyway, we gotta go now. Okay.
It's my song. No, it's like I have a solo song on the album that I really love. It's about my first period, so that's exciting. Woo. But then my favorite song on the album is actually the song "Embrace," which is just like not even a rap song. It's like we sing, and we actually we wrote the lyrics while we were high on ecstasy.
Whoa.
Nice. And then we amended them with some sober lyrics.
You
But
guys have some crazy lives over here. I feel so boring.
But it's
compared.
actually
we were
one
on
of
a
like the
beach.
most profound songs, and it's like kind of about like dealing with pain and accepting reality and love and like letting that enter your life in a meaningful way. So I really love that song, and when I listen to it, I always feel uplifted, and so
Nice.
that's cool. You know, we
That's
created
beautiful.
that together.
We gotta end it pretty soon. We have to end it now, actually.
Maybe
Is
end it with
anyone
like just like
tipsy?
one little impression, you know. Like,
All right, give me
Before
a
we
celebrity.
go,
I don't
before
know.
we go.
It's gonna
no,
be
I want it to
horrible.
be like a mutual acquaintance. You know what I mean? Like,
How about Samuel Jackson?
I don't know
too
him.
easy. No.
No, that's so easy.
That's too easy. Let's. I wanted to give you a challenge. Let's see. I agree. Someone that we all know.
Yeah.
Has
like,
he someone that we know
Yeah.
personally?
It's
Henny
gonna be
Mac.
horrible. It's not gonna be Henny Mac.
Henny
Mac.
Henny Mac.
Yes.
Wait, rapping or talking? Rapping or talking?
Either or. Both.
Both.
From
Yo,
talking.
Rob, yo.
and
Talking
Yo,
is-
Rob. I just want to say, man, thank you so much. Like, you know, the whole haste, like, even the whole AC by the, by the fam. You know, yo, Rob, yo, good looking, good look, you my boy, yo, good looking boy. And then rapping, I love Henny rapping. Rapping is like, you know, first he waits for everyone to finish their verses. Victim, hit it to the victim, hit it to the sister, the any go to the system. Yo, the things with the first of the feet, the thing with the feet. That's it. That's all I got.
That was so good. That
Yeah.
did not disappoint.
Not disappointing.
Both
yeah.
rapper
Very
versions.
good.
Yo, don't
Just
show this to
speaking.
Henny, y'all, because he's gonna kick my ass.
No, that was like well done.
gonna kick my ass. My favorite part is the face.
Yeah,
I
the
like
visual.
The face.
Oh, yeah,
Visual.
that's
That's
good.
so
Hey, you
good.
gotta get the vein out.
Yeah, that.
Let's get some more.
But
of these.
even
Let's-
like just him talking, that was him. That sounded like him. That
Yo,
was
bro,
really
yo,
good.
real Roberto, yo, good looks, man. Yo, Roberto, put me on Supreme Bars. Yo, I love you, bro.
All right, well, that was a fitting conclusion. That was very, very nicely done.
All right, thank you. I can do Samuel Jackson because he's like right on my arm. But so, all right, we're out of here. Jade's cutting us out. So, thank you. You know what? She cut us out, but we're still on Facebook, though.